Welcome back for another OG Show Live. Mr. Randall, how you doing?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Reel Down.
Welcome back to another episode of Bass Fishing for News.
Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to, once again, the Bass Kayak and Beers.
Brother, this is the final cast.
Another segment of Chasing the Tide, your saltwater connection on the Paddlesports.
Welcome back, everyone. Another episode of Feather and Fur. Your host, Brad.
Welcome back to the Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Crystal.
Hey, welcome back to Off the Water.
Susie Q here with Adventures of Outdoor Woman podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast.
We're brought to you by Pelican, built tough for all situations. Go to pelican.com. Eastport Marina on the beautiful shores of Dale Hollow Lake. For all your lodging, kayaking, go to eastport.info. Yak Gadget for all your fine kayak fishing accessory needs. Go to yakgadget.com.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Reel Down. I'm your host, Jimmy Skinner. With me, like always, Mr. Dan the Fishing Man Perry. What up, dude?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great now. I've been feeling down and out, but we had a really fun conversation before this that made my evening better. We may or may not get into that on here. It'll be fun. Well, what else been going on with you? I know you just got back from Florida.
Yeah,
Two really good trips, man. You was going more than you was home.
Yeah, it was fun. That's it for a while, though. We, me and the Kingfishers, we locked up. I had a great week down in Okeechobee. Had a lot of fun. Caught a lot of fish, a lot of big fish, and I mean nothing over 20, but caught playing 19s and 18s, and we whooped the copperheads on their home water, old cornbread spaghetti, and beat them, and it was a lot of fun. And the Kingfishers locked up number one. We're only lost one game this season, locked up home field advantage through the playoffs, and so the playoffs are going to go through Neely Henry's, which, I mean, that was our whole goal for the season. And the championship is on Chickamauga, and we got Jordan Marshall on our team, so feeling great, man.
Setting up real good for y'all.
Yeah.
Well, we got a little bit of a different show this week for everybody. We were going to have the Hobie winners on. They're a couple of them are still hanging out up north, and wanted to see if we could just hit it next week. So that's what we're going to do. And instead of grabbing the KBF winners or anything else, we decided just to have a chill little episode. Me and Dan. We also going to go ahead and bring in our guest. We got Mr. Bass Kayak and Beers, Armando, coming to hang out with us. What's up, dude?
What's up? I don't know about the whole chill episode from the start of the re-recording, but
well, it's going to start off chill. I'm doped up on cough syrup and stuff because I'm not feeling too good. But we're just, the whole plan was to hang out, talk about how our fishing year has been. I wanted to talk to Dan a little bit, and because Okeechobee's somewhere I've always been interested in. I wanted to get him to break it down for me and then break down how y'all did. I mean, we know from the last show that y'all didn't get the results y'all wanted out of the week before that, but we didn't really get to talk about the area or because I've never fished that way, and it'd be cool to get some info on that. And we're just going to kind of hit topics and talk clubs and where kayak fishing is, and I'm sure we might get into a little drama. So here we go. I'm just your good-looking bearded host, and let's do this. But what about you, Armando? How's your year been? I know you've been doing a bunch of fishing. You doing any tournaments this year?
A lot of TikToking and Instagramming too.
Well, trying to keep up with the trends now. I'm so frustrated because the last few times I've taken out the drone, put up a couple of good reels, and it won't even get like 1,000 Ks. And this is going off the topic that we're going to talk, but I kind of want to vent on this. I had a good buddy of mine here from Texas, and he kind of like told me, I'm out of social media. I'm out of it. I don't want to do it anymore. I need a break, right? So, but he still had his account active. So I did a reel and I did a reel of a few videos that I've had of me and him fishing about at the end of last year. And I kind of put something together as far as reel goes, put it on Instagram, put him as a collaborator, trying to get him to, get active again. And he did. And it's funny because we got like 10,000, 11,000 views or likes on it, right? So he was doing pretty good, And then all of a sudden he gets a message from Instagram telling him that they would like him to do more reels and are willing to pay him to do more reels. Keep in mind, I'm doing reels at all day, like putting like 2 or 3, and I'm not getting this message. He gets his message after being like a month away from doing the reels. He puts the first 2 go viral, 2 million views each. His followers go from 7,000 to 15,000. And in about less than a month, he made $380 something just by posting reels. And I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? And it's
they must
funny
have
because we were
changed it
talking.
too, because I know I won't say who it is, but we had a talk with a content creator at Dale Hollow, and I know they were paying $1,000 per milli.
Yeah.
So because they make their living doing that. It's cool, but it's just I enjoy it, but it's like I don't know. It's just as toxic as like not toxic for kayak fishing or for it's just like
I know what you mean.
it keeps your fucking head into it too much.
Yeah.
Like I hit a streak last week or 2 weeks ago where I was on top of my content, and I had one little reel go like crazy for me. You know, it hit 1,000 likes and 10,000 views, and then I was like, God, that's so stupid. Like I don't know. I kept going back to look at it, seeing if it was doing it, seeing what audience it was hitting. And I was just like, never mind. I literally stopped myself. It's just, I got other stuff to worry about. There's so many other ways that I can like stay relevant or don't.
I agree. I was listening to part of the Jigging with Jordan podcast. I think it's called the Banger podcast.
The Banger podcast. I actually really like listening to that.
Yeah. And I have a lot of respect for Jigging with Jordan. Jordan, I'm assuming it's his first name or his last name. I don't remember the name. He's not as much kayak fisherman as he is a scuba diver in freshwater that finds cool stuff, and that's the whole content he does in YouTube. But he's kind of like been on and off with the Guggen Squad and Catchco Company. So he had John B on the podcast, and I'm not into that, but somebody sent me that a marketing director. We're talking about social media. He sent me. Says forward, it was like a 2-hour podcast. He says forward to an hour and 15 minutes, I think it is, when they start talking about social media. And it's crazy, the whole thing, a lot of the insight that was brought in, because that's when I found out by Jordan saying that they're actually, what you just said, they were paying thousands of dollars for people to say, hey, put reels on Instagram and don't put it on your TikTok for 30 days. And depending on the views, we'll pay you, 1,000 or more.
I watched that whole episode, and what they're getting at is that TikTok took the market right out from under YouTube and Instagram, with paying content creators. Yeah. So Instagram is giving incentives by saying they'll pay X amount of dollars per capita, or, same way as podcasting works. But there'll be stipulations like we'll pay you this much, but you can't post it anywhere else for 30 days. And that's just how they're trying to stay in their thing. I mean, YouTube's got short videos now, or short clips, and it's all crap. That whole episode's really good. Say what you want about the Guggen Squad. I really like John B, because even before Guggen Squad, he was a fantastic video editor. Like I would love to be able to do B-roll the way he does. His video footage and editing is. I mean, I don't even know if he does his own anymore. I highly doubt it. But I know there was a time you could tell when he did, because it's always like next level. Like his editing skills are so good.
I literally don't even know who that is.
You don't know who John B is?
You have John B is. Guggen Squad? Come on.
You would, if you like
don't.
old school, I'd say old school YouTube video fishing guys. He was one of the first major fishing YouTubes. Started when he was like 16, 17, pond fishing, creek fishing, and then it worked him all the way up into one of the founding members of the Guggen Squad with Catchco and all those companies.
I wouldn't watch the little kids on YouTube.
It's not kids anymore. They're in their almost in their 30s now. But I mean, I have a lot of respect. Think about it. Teenage kids who now have their own baits and really lifted a company out of nowhere, Catchco Company, what nobody knew about, to a true competitor.
I mean, they're a company that's riding that wave of like negativity too. Like Everybody hates on their stuff, but they're doing stuff behind the scenes that people don't see. Like they bought Bass Mafia.
Yep.
And like I'm pretty sure they own Catch Co now. Like they're just, I mean, hate it all you want. There's an old saying in the rock crawling world. I mean, it's an old saying everywhere, but haters make you famous, and they're riding the shit out of that train.
Yeah. And I know, again, we were talking about tournaments, but one thing that I respect about John B, he actually, I think he has a ranch now somewhere in Texas. I don't know, but he does have a house like 5 minutes from where I live. And this, keep in mind, this is a dude that's been to I think was Somalia. He fished a series in Somalia, in Brazil, in Antarctica, in
he's done Australia,
on the Arctic, something like Greenland or Iceland, I think he did.
He does. He was known for what he calls his Never Stop series.
Yeah.
And he travels around the world over a month or 2 months or whatever it is. And like for a long time, his big go-to species was the giant trevally.
Yeah.
And that was kind of his thing for a while, and then it was as many species as he can catch. So he went to Australia and did all sorts of cool fishing. Yeah, he goes. And all to the that time. Point, he's a killer content creator for sure.
And to that point, he's still to this day, and I've seen him do the neighborhood pond fishing right around here in Dallas Fort Worth. Like he still will go back.
Yeah.
To doing what his roots. So I got mad respect for that guy, and he's doing basketball tournaments to kind of like. So he's putting himself out there. I have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
Anyways,
well,
I just looked him up. No, I didn't know who he was.
I'm telling you, just if you can get, he does have that just shitty kid lingo that I just don't like how he talks sometimes, but his content is like. He caught either 4 or 5 over 10 this year, live scoping A rigs, and has every bit of it on footage. And he caught a 14 something on an A rig off a boat dock, and he has the whole thing filmed, and it's fantastic. It's not just the picture of the fish on a scale at the end of the day. Like it's full catch, net job, everything. It's really good. But enough about content creators because they're making all the money, and all we're doing is helping them.
Right.
But I want to get into just a little bit, Dan. Tell us about where you went 2 weeks ago, and then kind of tell us about Okeechobee, because I've said it tons of times on here. It's like probably one of the top bucket list lakes for me is to go down there and fish that grass.
Yeah, last week we went, and my internet's been a little weird right now, but it seems like it has lately. I need to do something. But the weekend before last, we went to Hyco Lake, North Carolina. We fished the Tar Heel Lunkers. And it's a little small, like homeowners association kind of lake, not real big. Like kind of lake. Did y'all catch all that?
Caught most of it.
Okay, yeah. Like it's like a more of a recreational kind of lake, and it was okay. It wasn't beautiful up there, and the area is great. It's closer to Virginia, kind of north central, but I wouldn't. I mean, it's not like I would travel to go for. Yeah, it was okay. It's kind of like, like more like a Logan Martin.
Yeah,
yeah. So
got some fish in it. Really cool place.
Yeah,
that's where
nice.
that ends.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many other good lakes in North Carolina. It's like Jordan, and I guess that one lake, McIntosh, that's been really good for the KFL. I mean, teams are putting up like 190 a week there, so for 10 fish. So that place been on. And in the middle of summer too. I wonder how it is in spring.
Yeah.
But Corey Dreyer caught a 23.5 there this weekend, like during the tournament. But this weekend we went to KFL. I mean to Okeechobee. It's awesome. I had been there before in a college bass event back in 2014. So yeah, 8 years ago. It was great. We did good then. My partner and I, if we would have caught all the fish that we had bite, we would have had, because we saw them, it would have been over 40 pounds easy. And my
40-pound sack. I couldn't imagine a 40-pound sack.
Yeah, 23 or 28 that day. I can't remember. on day 2 of the tournament. So we had a really good tournament, but yeah. So and his 9.2 was only it was the second biggest fish at a tournament, so we didn't even get big fish.
Jesus.
But yeah. I love it. I definitely would not go in the summer because it's that brutal hot, Florida weather, but yeah, for sure. Like in the spring, it's January to April. It's amazing. Great lake.
So
they don't jump in the boat, but it's a great lake.
It's a huge body of water with a lot of the same stuff. What was your how'd you break that down? Did you just fish history or did you?
No, I went somewhere I'd never been before. To me, whenever you go to Okeechobee, it's all about the wind. I wanted to fish the west side. I didn't get to it at all because I knew on tournament day the wind was going to be coming out of the southeast, so it was going to really blow, not real hard, but kind of bad on the west side. I didn't want to mess with that, so we fished the south side, more protected areas. So you go to Okeechobee, you have to fish the wind. The east side, kind of most of the east side sucks. JNS and there's some other ramps over there that aren't. I mean, they're just not that productive. North side can be good, south side can be good, and the west side. So leave the east side out. That's done. But and the other ones you just fish depending on the wind.
Was it you doing a lot of punching or?
No, I didn't. Where I was at, I didn't do any punching. It's mostly kind of. They're not exactly lily pads. I think they're kind of maybe real mature hyacinth where they open up. It kind of looks like lily pads. It looks like the same texture as a lily pad, but they're up higher out of the water. So I don't know what they're actually called. But I fished those a lot with a toad. That's how I was getting bites during practice. And then tournament day is just structure with a wacky rig. I had 89 inches and one came on a toad and the other ones came on a wacky rig.
Oh, wacky.
So it was post frontal. It had rained the night before. It stormed really bad and kept me up. We were staying at a trailer. It was nice. It was on a canal. Had a hot tub and a pool. Didn't get in it, but it was a nice place. But it
didn't want to
had to go
catch
wacky rig.
monkeypox.
No, I didn't. We Dustin was going to. He had fished some of the canals back there by the monkeypox. He ended up not fishing it. We just they came to my area because it was more productive. So.
Well, that's cool. Well, I'm glad y'all kept it up. Y'all had a killer year.
Yeah.
It's been I don't keep up with it much, but it's been I at least check in on yours. That's cool though, man. I really do. Okeechobee just seems so. I watch all of Scott Martin's videos and Roland Martin's videos, which most of Roland's videos are down in the marsh now, in the stick marsh. But I love, that's my favorite place to look up bass fishing videos when I'm just bored. I love watching how you guys break down all that different grass and like you said, fish in the wind. And I've always wanted to do it with a guide because you see these guys just seem to pull up to spots for reasons, just like anywhere else when you've planned to fish it. But everything there looks so much the same on video. It's like, what's different? And I don't know. I'd love to fish it with a guide, not for his spots, but just for him to say, I come here because this is different than that,
The times I've been, it's really been, you have to cover. It's a tough place for a kayak for sure. Like if I were going to choose a lake in Florida to go fish, it wouldn't be with a kayak. It definitely would not be Okeechobee because you have to cover so much water because it's one of those places where 90% of the fish are in 10% of the water. I mean, it's pretty much like that everywhere in Florida, but especially Okeechobee. So you just have to cover water and then start to find some kind of pattern that works, So like a certain kind of, if it's a bay, if it's a canal, if it's, some kind of docks or structure, just any kind of, maybe it could be the bottom, like a muck bottom or sandy bottom or rocky bottom, whatever it is, you kind of find that one thing. So like anywhere else, once you kind of find what they're doing, then you just
replicate
on that. Yeah.
Were you able to run your motor really?
Yeah, hell yeah. Dude, I can't believe I waited so long to get a motor. My Z Pro battery running that Newport, dude. I'm up at Heiko. I ran it out. Like I went to the far end of the lake and up these creeks and then back down and all the way across the lake again. And it had to have been 20 miles for sure, like going flat out, because my Hobie would go 5 with it. Yeah, like it maxes out at flat 5 miles per hour on flat calm water. But dude, I love it. And I couldn't have fished. I couldn't have done the last two. I caught an 18 and a 17 3/4 in the last 30 minutes. That because at that time we only had 9 fish. If I hadn't caught at least one of those fish, we wouldn't have won. And if I wouldn't have had a motor, I would have never been able to motor back to that spot in time. I never would have been able to get there. So a motor won it for us this weekend.
You're running a Garmin graph still?
Yeah, the 93 SV.
Do you ever use the odometer and stuff on it?
No, no, I've never used it.
You should do it because you can follow your trip, so you can put a mileage to your battery life.
Really?
Yeah. I go in mine every time I get in the water, and I'll start it over, and then it's got a total miles done one too. But it's just like a digital display in your truck, but like it'll keep up with it. It's really cool.
I'll have to look that up. I didn't even know it was an option, but I've kind of found out with mine. If I run at like 65%, I go 4 miles an hour. So if especially in practice, I can go just a little bit slower and get a lot more life out of it,
Yeah. So mine, I still don't have my seat where I need it. I keep playing with it because I don't want to sit any further forwards. Yeah. But my boat really likes the weight to be on the front, and then it speeds up. It'll get 5, maybe a little over if you get real heavy in the front. I just don't like doing it. But mine will run 4.6 to 4.8. Something Brian showed me is if you back it down to 80%, it'll do the same speed, but it'll take off like 150 watts of power, and it'll do the same speed. I still haven't killed mine, and I know I've done 16 miles, and I don't, like, I'll still get frustrated or something like that and slap it to 100 and just let her go. Yeah. But that Amped Outdoors, I've got the 50... Is it a 1250? I think it's a 2450 from Amped Outdoors, and it's a great battery, and it charges so fast compared to my last one. Like my 100 amp 12 volt would take. I mean, it actually sat here before I got rid of it last week. It charged for like 6 hours or something, like 8 hours. Charged a lot.
Wow.
This one you can run it all day and it'll charge up in less than 2. But I'm with you. Like, I still have my creek boat, and I still love paddling. I love doing the creek thing, dragging the boats around, walking, paddling in the current and stuff like that. But when it's like time to put your head down and cover water, I love having the motor, which I do miss pedals. I've been talking with some of the guys at the shop, and I might have a big, like, different boat next year because I kind of want to get back into pedaling.
I really like, mine is absolutely I don't have reverse. Mine doesn't turn. I have it locked out straight. I use my rudder to steer, and I only use it from point to point. Once I get somewhere, I pull up my motor. I don't use it at all once I get somewhere. So it's really just helping me cover water.
Yeah, that's basically how I use mine.
And I love my setup just being as simple as possible. Like, I don't want shit to break. I want it absolutely. I don't want a bunch of cords and a bunch of crazy stuff. I just want it simple, durable, and that's how I have it set up.
Yeah. No, I feel you. That's one thing I like about the new canoe mount is it makes everything simple. I don't have to run the anti-reverse stuff, none of their brackets. Literally, you buy the motor, and that's the only thing out of the box you use. And
I'll tell you what,
Quick Connect's nice.
That new canoe with the foot control steering for a bow mount, the 1 foot control steering, dude, I saw that with it controls the rudder in the back. That's the first time I've ever looked at a bow mount and thought, yeah, I could actually run that. That setup is so
dude. That
legit.
single foot control steering is nice on the stern mount. Brian's got it on his,
and
really? I thought it was going to be kind of so like the hand steering has a little bit of tension, which I appreciate because you can put it somewhere and let go of it. So like kind of hold your bearing. That foot control will still do that, but that thing's buttery smooth. Like, you don't have to barely use your foot at all. So I think it'd be great. Like, if you've got limited mobility in your ankle, I still think it would work perfectly fine. I thought it was another one of the things that new canoe came out with, I was like, I just don't think that's for me. And then I used it, and now I got to get one. It's pretty sick. I tried to make one, and I can, but with the current layout of some of the other stuff I've got on the boat, I'd have to get rid of it just to make room for the controls. So I'm just going to bite the bullet and pay for it. Made my own transducer retract. I didn't want to pay $150 for one of those. I spent $6, and mine goes up and down just like the expensive one does. So uses some of the same parts the expensive one does.
Here's a pro tip. If you do the over the side transducer mount, don't buy a Scotty because they're bullshit. Like,
I'm gonna here pro tip number 2. They all suck.
Yeah, they all suck. That's real talk.
I've had all of them, and they all like. I like things about. I don't like the Scotty one at all.
Yeah, well, it's really nice. It's like big and strong at the top. Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Then it gets right to the bottom before it gets to the hinge for the transducer, and it's like the tiniest piece of plastic ever. Like, it's obviously going to break. I don't understand why they did that. Scotty, get it together.
Mine, the Yak Attack one and the Ram one. I like the Ram one the most because I can keep it up tight against the boat and keep the drag down. But it doesn't like to stay tight all the time. And I've actually had it catch grass and break the Ram ball. That was interesting. And then the Yak Attack one just causes too much drag and catches everything in the water.
Yeah.
You want to like get snatched around, be motoring and run across. I ran across braid floating in the water that was hooked to something like submerged, and it caught the transducer, snatched it hard enough that it turned the boat towards the bank. Like, wow. You're just cruising on your phone, and then like, what the Armando don't have these problems. He's a Hobie guy too.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to the motor craze. Not that I have anything against it. I'm not a purist or anything like that. I just haven't gotten there.
I know it's going to be more of a natural thing. Just most of the kayak clubs are letting them in now. You know, all but one trail series lets them, and it's kind of a no-brainer. Like, for me, it's not. It's one of those things like Live Scope. Do you have to have it? No, but it's going to help you if you do.
Yeah, I'm sure to me it's going to be one of those things where, since ignorance is bliss, right? Since I've never used it, I don't miss it. And I don't think of myself as ever needing one. But I'm sure
that's how I started.
That as soon as I use it, I'll be like, oh yeah, no, I'm doing this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I liked pedaling. And then when I got on the new canoe team and they dropped the EPS system, the original one, I was like, well, cool. I can actually get to some of these places that are way out from my put in, and I won't be exhausted when I get there. And I mean, first trip, I took it to Gunnersville, and I was able to, like, this one place that I go, I can usually only like go, X amount of places or one place or the other. I fished the whole thing, like, and went somewhere else and never changed launches, and came back in and was like, this is it. Like, yeah. And then, like, we're talking about just using it from A to B. I still break the paddle out because I usually get up shallow somewhere, throwing a frog. That motor doesn't do me any good once I get there. That's probably why my battery lasts so long, is like my running is probably 4 or 5 miles, but the rest of that fishing day, that motor's stowed.
Yeah.
Do you have yours where you can pull yours up, Dan?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You do? Yeah. I saw the benefits of not being able to do that when we were in Florida. John Rapp can't stow his on his current setup. And when we got it down in that grass in the marsh,
it's a feel free. So,
Hey, I give it to him. He's loyal. He's been with him forever, and he likes them. And now I'll tell you that he's got the Moken V2. Little fucker's fast. Like, with the motor on it, he was keeping up with, the Unlimited's a long. I mean, it's not narrow by any means, but it's meant to cut through water. He was keeping up with us, no problems. I don't even think he was running like 70% throttle. Like, a little quick boat, but it'd be faster if he'd take half that crap off of it.
Their seats are super comfortable. I didn't know.
Yeah, man, I miss my feel-free seat.
Yeah,
if that seat base, I tried when I had mine to take off that ratcheting seat frame and like put my own base on it. And the way it's designed, you just can't do that, which kind of sucks, but it's also good for them from a marketing standpoint. But that seat is so freaking like. You want to talk about a seat that I think's overrated? Is that fucking Hobie seat?
Dude, I broke my Hobie seat this weekend.
How?
The string in the back. There's 2 strings, a bottom string and a back string. I broke the string. I saw it the night before. And I was really worried about it breaking, and then it broke on my last fish on the hook set of that fish.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, so
I love the vantage seat from it's kind of primitive design. The whole thing about having like a little like turnabout, you know, you turn on the handle and it coils the string. So it's like you would think it would be a little bit more.
It should be a cable, not like a string.
Yeah. Which I mean, I haven't seen one break those strings. I've seen it's got the boa.
Yeah.
Broke it, yeah.
That runs the lumbar, I think.
Yeah.
Those really things. Good. I've seen so many of those stripped out on Outbacks from like what you're talking about. Like you lean back and it just on the inside and the cable just comes on. Oh yeah. It's not a Hobie thing. That's called a boa.
Yeah.
A boa retention system. They're fantastic if whatever it is doesn't have a lot of pressure. That's why you see them on shoes and like bags. When I saw them on there, I was like, "Ooh, I bet I could break that." Well, and then I see them come in all the time on Outbacks broken.
I don't know. I've never had that broken, but then again, I'm not. I'm at 200 pounds, 5'11", so I'm not. I'm not a huge person. I think because I do a lot of snowboarding when I go to Colorado, so I've had the boa on the snowboarding shoes, right? And the thing about it, it has like a drag, like a reel. It's meant to let go when it's enough pressure to break the plastic. It has a safety mechanism where it'll just release and then you tighten it back up. So if for any reason,
the boa that's on my hunting boots don't do that because it's steel cable and it locks down for good. Like you better hope you don't have to get out of that boot in a hurry because it's not happening.
Yeah, that's true.
Like. But at the same time, you can smoke the teeth in it, and then it won't ever work again. But yeah, side nose on seats. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I know. But besides that, I like the seats. Sometimes I get like it hurts at the end of the day, it might hurt my tailbone a little bit. But I don't use a.
That's the thing I didn't like about it is the gap between the back and the bottom. Even if you have the bottom, because when you raise the bottom, it's pivoting the front of the seat, not the whole.
Yeah.
Lower. And that messed with my back. But I did a thing where I would put the seat all the way up high, and then the kickstand for the back of the seat, I'd put that down so the seat would be like stupid recline. That's comfortable as shit. Yeah. I mean, you're doing that whole like gangster pedal thing where you're like, but it's easy to take a nap if you want to because you're way back.
Have the hydraulics just jumping up and down.
Just ride the chop out.
Put some Dre mixtape.
Oh man. Yeah, that's how are you doing in the club stuff this year, Dan? You up there in AOI again?
Yeah, I think right now I'm in 5th. You're
not in first?
It's one event, the last event, I haven't been able to fish. I won. I got 2nd, 2 firsts. And like a 17th, but the way our points go, it messed me up. And it's not like 1 point for each thing down. It's a whole complicated system, which it makes a lot of sense the way it works.
How many can you drop?
1. Well, I can't drop. That's the thing. I can't drop any because I wasn't able. I was doing KFL, so I wasn't able to fish an event to drop 1.
But you have minimum events to compete.
2 left. 2 left. One of them only 1 left. Only 1 left. I'm the only person who could, if I won the next one. Jacob doesn't know it yet. I think we figured it out where he can't be beat. He's already won it. We just haven't told him yet. So Jacob, if you're listening, congrats.
Well, let me under how many tournaments are they for to qualify for the end of the year? 6.
And 5 of them you have to fish. 5 go towards AOY.
Okay,
and
so
I'm
5.
only able to fish 5.
Okay, and you got 1st, 2nd, 17th.
No,
Yeah.
first.
What was that?
First,
he got
first, second,
yeah.
and 17th.
Okay, so you got a first place, a second place, and the fourth is you got a 17th, and now you have the fifth. Even if you don't get first place, you can't beat the other guy. I mean,
No, if
you got
if I
two
get
first place and a second place.
if I get
How's that work?
first, if I get first, I'm like just a half a point behind him. So I would be the only person who could, even though I'm in fifth right now, because I've only fished 4 events. 5 goes towards AOY. I've only fished 4. But if in the last one I win it, I would still be a half a point behind him.
Yeah, their point system just works different.
Yeah,
it's not a standard.
No, he's done great. I can't, if I could have fished 2, I can't drop my 17th. My 17th was only 2 fish, and it hurt me so bad that I can't catch up to him because his points are a lot more consistent.
What if he fishes? Oh, because he already has the 6, right?
Yeah.
Well, he already has 5.
And what are the finishes on the 5? I'm just interested to know how you get 3 first place and still not win it.
No,
or not still being not able to.
Well, see, it's based on. It's not based off like first place is 100 points, second place is 95, third is 90 points. It's like, let's say I win and I catch 60 inches. If you catch 59, then you get like a whole bunch, like 98 points, because you're real close to where I was at. But if you only catch 50, the margin, you get very few points. Your points are a lot less than
it's based off the individual performances. It's not based off the where you finish.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, kind of, but not in the same sense.
It's based on how many inches you had, not on how you placed, really.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I've always thought that's the way it should be.
Third place could be, if third place was only 50 inches, it would have been 90 points, but in ours, it would only be like 75 points because you were 10 inches away from first place.
Yeah.
So if somebody really blows somebody out, they really hurt everybody else in Angler of the Year points. And he's just been like right there at the top every time.
I've always, and I'm not a tournament director, so this could be the stupidest idea. And if it is, feel free to tell me. But I've always thought that national level tournaments should be something like that. Should be like, okay, you get your points, for standings, but you should also add the inches. Like, you get 300 points for first place, and let's say you got 100 inches. Add that, and then do a whole math. I mean, I'm simplifying it just for the sake of this conversation, not to go to deep rabbit hole about it. But at some point, I think it has to be a combination, in my opinion, a combination of like points and total inches.
Yeah. If I had had an extra tournament to drop one and I did really good, let's say I got second in the other 2, or I just got close, within a couple of inches, 2 or 3 inches, then I could win. But because I can't drop one, I can't, even if I win the next one, I can't get enough points to win.
Right.
Because my one event that sucked so bad on Lay Lake, the event I won the year before, and I went somewhere different and did some bunch of dumb shit, and I only caught 2 fish. So I just put myself out of it with one event, even though I got 2 firsts and a second. It's crazy, but
let me ask your opinion on
real
this.
life.
I'm interested in this. So 2 weeks ago, I recorded an episode with Jake Harshman from Pennsylvania. We wanted to promote the Native Power Bass Power Hour, something like that, which is MLF for kayak fishing. First of all, the payouts are amazing. The payouts are, and the entry fee is only $100. And the payouts is each trail is going to have 3 kayaks given out. $1,000 an hour. And then there's also going to be the standings based on how many bass you caught. No limit, 14 inches and up. I think that's amazing. I think it's MLF applied to kayak fishing. I love it. What are your thoughts about a tournament like that? Do you think that has a place in kayak fishing?
Yeah, I don't think it's something that you do and you set up and worry about like Angler of the Year and this is the most prestigious thing. But I think it is something fun and different. Because they did one on it wasn't MLF style, but they did one here.
Tournament of Titans.
The Tournament of Titans. That's where that came from. It kind of started with the Tournament of Titans. Because they gave away 3 kayaks, I think $10,000 to the first place or something like that. It's definitely, I think they should. I mean, I don't see the guy that's running it's doing a great job. I can't think of his name right now, but
I think it's somebody different for each place.
We called him. I think it's William Benini. William Benini.
Yeah, and then the guy that was helping him, he did a couple of them. Was a guy from California, Mobbing Outdoors.
Yeah, Marvin.
Yeah, and Marvin Forte from Portland was also helping out.
Yeah, but I think it's great. It's something different. I mean, that's something different that doesn't get in the way of anything else.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like big event, like one-off events like that, I think are cool because somebody can still fish a trail, go for AOY, and still dip into that like 1 or 2 events. You know.
Yeah. And I really don't think they need an Angler of the Year race. No. I think that might actually be how do you call that? Not good idea. No, counterproductive. I think it's the word I'm looking for. English is my first language, so for those out there listening, probably know that already. But counterproductive. I think it's they benefit more staying like bluegrass and not worry about doing AOY. If they do, that would be great too. But I think
I think that they're doing fine, and I think you'll see more of them. Yeah. I know if it comes back around here, I'd hit it up because they probably hit. They go places with tourism boards that won't end, and Gunnersville's one of those. So I'm always down to fish on G.
That's the only thing on it, and we asked William about it. I guess because they were trying to keep some costs down and everything, they went to places where not traditional, like Portland. That's not a traditional bass mecca. It's growing, and I think it's great. They went to California, which traditionally don't support national level. California's local trails do great. National trails they don't do good at all, except that one. That one did pretty good on the in California.
If you look at it too, they went to places where they have team members who are really leading their area, like Marvin and Portland, Marvin.
They got the right people. Yeah.
Well, when you're doing something like that and you're not trying to claim this whole prestigious tournament bullshit and you're just wanting a good tournament on good waters. I mean, if you got somebody willing to run a tournament, go wherever they want because they know it. They may know the people to set it up, or they know the area good enough. I mean, that's the one thing that's kind of weird for me doing the state championship for Alabama this year is trying to hype everything up to a tourism board when it's an area I don't know. It's definitely a challenge. Lucky that there's already a club down there that's done stuff, so they're already kind of familiarized. But like I do everything like this as a sales pitch, and it was definitely like I threw it away a few times because I could not figure out how to put it together for that area just because I have zero experience down there. But I think it's gonna be a banger. You going, Dan?
Where? I'm sorry.
The state championship.
No.
Not gonna make it. You gonna miss some fun.
No,
I'm not gonna get to fish it.
I don't like where it's at. You have to be a river guy. I'm not a river guy, so
man, you could figure it out. I have faith in you.
I'm good. I've the last 2 times, like we talked about, like you could go fish Jordan too, and I got first place. I was 2 years in a row. I got 7th, and I was the highest placing fisher on Jordan. And it just doesn't compete with the fish in the river there. So.
The big old spots in the river are king down there. But it won't be there next year. That's a glorious thing of how I did the tournament setup is that place is out for a year. So maybe I would like to see it go back to North Alabama, Gunnersville or Pickwick. I'd love for it to be on us to pick Wheeler one year just because so many people hate Wheeler because it can be so difficult. But
I'd like to see like the Warrior, Bankhead, and Mulberry Fork, and
after all my success out there, me too, buddy.
If you did Mulberry, Locust Fork, and Bankhead, those 3 together, that'd be legit too.
Yeah, that
isn't there a part of you, Dan, that just wants to say, hey, it's not, I'm not a river guy, but I'm going to do it just for the sake of the sport, trying to grow it, grow as an angler. Nothing.
no. Dan's like, no, I'm gonna go catch donkeys offshore.
I'm saying that. I guarantee I'll be there. I'm not going to miss it. I've been at every state in the 6-7 years. I'll be there.
I think I'm gonna go down early and fish the day before or 2 days before, just to get to fish, since I'm going to run the tournament. I don't want to be in the tournament and run the tournament, which, I mean, I didn't do anything to qualify this year anyway, but even if I had, I wouldn't. I don't know. It's weird for me to, like, I have a weird standing for directors that participate in tournaments.
When is it?
I agree.
October 15th.
Oh, no, that's the KFL championship. So hopefully I won't be available.
Yeah. Hopefully you're cashing big.
Where's the KFL championship? The national championship? Where's it
Chickamauga.
Chickamauga.
Oh, Chickamauga, that's right.
Yeah.
That'll be what I'm doing tournament day, is trying to keep up with y'all's live broadcasting stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's usually terrible to watch, but hopefully it will be. The team will be fishing for the 60 grand.
In the championship, does the whole team get to fish, or only select people?
Yeah, just 4. But
Still
they
just
can't.
4?
It's kind of like the 10 where they're putting us in a house and everything else. So.
And that's just for the championship final 2 people, or final 2 teams.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
If we make it,
they should. Hopefully, they load y'all up with all sorts of free shit, like the 10.
Just free house is nice.
Yeah,
help with expenses,
So sticking to tournament talk, just because I saw this a second ago when it popped up when I was looking up Fishing Chaos. Do you know, or have you heard about this Ambassador Championship thing that KBF is doing?
No, but first I want to say Fishing Chaos sucks.
Yep.
And
your trail is ran by assholes if you use Fishing Chaos.
Damn!
Damn!
Dan's bringing
re-recording. Dan is back.
I need to go get a beer.
Fishing Chaos just is not as good. It's not.
It's I don't. And that's not me being like biased to Tourney X or anything. I just prefer Tourney X. Like, does Tourney X have places it can improve? 1,000,000%, but it just works. It's easy to go back. It's easy to set up the tournaments. Nobody texts me in the middle of a tournament. It's like, I can't figure out this fucking app. It's usually just like, you don't have cell phone signal, stupid. Go get somewhere with signal, and then it works just fine.
Yeah. Have you ever met somebody that said Fishing Chaos is better?
No.
Nope.
No, it's not. It's not. It might benefit the trail. They might do whatever, but it's not.
You know what's worse?
I'm not putting them down. That's facts.
Yeah,
I love my boy Duke Tran from Mariner Sales. Runs the North Texas kayak fishing, and runs the best tournament in Texas, the Lone Star Throwdown. Amazing tournament, Duke Tran. I love you. You're the best tournament angler. Chris Morales, you're the best tournament. First tournament. You both are the best tournament directors out here in Texas, no doubt about it. But Duke, why are we still using iAngler? That's the only
iAngler. I forgot about that one.
Damn, man. Wow. Why do we have to use this crap? Like, come on, man. I don't know. Hey, if it's cheaper to run it that way, more money for the anglers.
But it doesn't matter. Like, $5 isn't gonna change your winnings.
It's like, crap. I don't know.
I would rather, like, that's what I tried to do for the Bassmaster stuff. Is I tried to find a sponsor that would just cover those fees, just because it's either they get covered or y'all are paying them, because we're still using that app. Sorry.
And Mariner Sales and Duke Tran running the North Texas Kayak Tournament Championship. I think North Texas Kayak Championship. They have the best. You go to their post tournament. And even if you didn't win anything, like I didn't win anything on the tournament except the raffle. I won a $300 battery, lithium battery on the raffle. So everybody pretty much comes home with something, because the raffles are ridiculous.
We're gonna have some good raffles at our state. I'm still on this. So normally you have the winner cashes a check. The last couple of events I've ran, the winner cashed a check and took home a bunch of prizes. I know I've set it up to do that again this year, but I keep debating on pulling all the prizes out of the winner's pot and
I
making
totally
sure
agree.
everybody takes something home.
Exactly.
Because we've got paddles and batteries and baits and I got all sorts of stuff. It could be a lot of, but at the same time, it's just more shit that I've got to go through and deal with versus me just setting up $1,000 worth of stuff on a table.
You know what they
for the
do
winner.
have on the North Texas Kayak Championship, which I think it's stupid, but I think it's great. So if you're the first one out of the money, they have a sponsorship. I can't remember if I don't think it's Western Sun Vodka is one of the sponsorships, but there's one specific sponsorship that pays out whoever got the first one left out of the money, and that person is going to make more money than the last person that was in the money, which I think it's kind of stupid, because at that point, if I'm sitting, let's say it's the top 10, I'm sitting in 10th place. If like, man, if I don't call this 13-incher, I can get 11th place and get $200 more, which is kind of like
I think I like cool little twists. We've done it where we've done it for smallest fish. We've done prize for falling out of the kayak. We'll have a turn. We used to do tournaments, and we just tell them anything you catch, take a picture of it on the board, and then we just call out a species. Like, who caught a bowfin today? Somebody'd stand up and show us the picture. It's like, boom, rod and reel combo. Or like, I'm getting money donated from this Chamber of Commerce, and he said I could kind of do with it whatever I want. And I thought about, we could either just raffle it off so anybody that showed up for the tournament could win $500 for no reason, or like I wanted to do who flipped, but there's gonna be a lot of folks turtle on the Coosa, so
yeah, you don't want
a headache. A lot of folks come out of their boats down there, so
here's an idea. You should go for every lake that you go, check out the species and do like a roulette. Just put the roulette, put all the species where the arrows points at. That's whoever catches that fish gets the biggest one. Let's say he lands on a catfish. Okay, whoever catches blue catfish, take a picture of it. The biggest one gets $100. That's kind of like a side pot.
That's all I'd go out there and do that day. I'd just take cut bait and go fish for catfish.
Oh no, you don't tell them at the end. You tell them at
the end.
No.
I'll think on it. We'll figure something out.
But the other thing that they do, and it's hard to interrupt Jimmy, which I like, and I think every tournament should do that. I'm a big believer on not putting too much rules and instead incentivizing the anglers to do what you wanted to do. A lot of people complain about what is it called, sandbagging, right? You could put a rule about sandbagging, but start putting rules, then you kind of take the fun out of it. One thing that the Duke trend does, which I totally agree on, is like, instead of putting rules, let's just incentivize you. If you're the first one to put up a limit, even if it's the smallest limit, but you're the first one to catch 5 fish, upload it, and you get, I can't remember, it was $250 or $100, something like that. I think that's great. That way, people's
I've seen other clubs. I think it's the All American guys do an hourly incentive to stop that way. If you catch a donkey and 10 a.m. instead of sandbagging it, you at least post that fish. But we've dabbled with that problem here, and a lot of it, some of our guys just aren't in signal. Like some of our guys just get way off the beaten path. I'm that guy sometimes. Like that tournament I did good at in Mulberry, there was like a stretch of 10 foot of that river I was able to get signal to post my fish. So I could have easily like completely put myself out of that check by, not trying to upload my fish for 20 minutes. Well, what else you want to get into? We've been talking about that and talked about KFL.
No, my internet's been so bad. I don't want to get on a rant. I'll just say, don't shit on other trails. It don't, because every night, every week we could get on here and we could say stuff about trails all the time. Whatever trail it is you don't like, KFL, Hobie, KFL, KBF, Hobie, All American. There's negative things you could say about everything, every single one. Quit trying to burn other people's stuff down. That's it. That like we take all this pride in our sport being better than the bass boat guys. We're not headed in that. We're not headed in that direction right now. We're going the other way.
Too much bullshit.
Yeah, like you can't say our sport is so great and then in the same breath shit on everything else that you're not into.
Our sport is great as a whole. It's
Yeah.
not one thing in this sport. It's not one person in this sport. It's not one group of people in this sport. And I'm telling you, I've said it. The people that are willing to spend money are paying attention. And if all you can turn into is bullshit, whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. It's not. I mean, these people they don't have that mindset to spend $1 million on something that's controversial. Where kayak fishing is not in that realm of like anything. Speaking of that, did you see Matt Robertson? I think controversial and randomness. Did you see Matt Robertson fish this week?
Like I think he's funny, but that's too far. You can't be out there in your drawers fishing.
You know what I'm talking about, Armando?
Yeah, I had no idea.
So
dude
he's
fished in his underwear.
He was he's elite series.
Yeah,
he was fishing his tidy whities. No, but that dude's different. He's got a beautiful blonde mullet. He's hilarious. I thought that was photoshopped until I saw the other footages from shots from the other chase boats.
It's not the first time he does that, right?
I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know. First time I've seen it.
But what I'm getting at was just the toxic will hold us back before it ever takes us anywhere. And it's not. This isn't pointed at any group of people. Everybody does this.
No,
like there's toxic people and everything, and keyboard warriors everywhere. I mean, and I feel like at the same time, if something's a problem, it needs to be known, but you can't just continue to shit on it over and over again.
Yeah, if you say your piece, like KBF payouts, I don't get on here every single week and talk about KBF payouts. You know it's a problem, and it wouldn't be. It's not doing anything. If just completely crapping on the same thing all the time, I could say Hobie, they should have an off limits. I don't want to fish Hobies because they don't have off limits. Hobies get on here every week. Hobie doesn't have off limits. I think it's crap trail because they don't have off limits. I could do that every single week and try to bring down Hobie. And I won't do that because I think they're number one. They are the best trail. There's no doubt about that. I mean, out of the ones I fished, they're the ones I think are the best. But I'm not going to crap on them just because it doesn't benefit me or benefit the things that I like to crap on something else all the time.
Man, people could take that energy to the source. Just like if there's an issue, take it to like a good example you said, the KBF payouts. How long has that been a thing and everybody knows about it? There's no need to talk about it anymore because it's not going to get fixed. It's not been fixed. And you just bashing it that way. I mean, sure, maybe warn folks like, man, you may not want to get in that, but you may not get paid for a little while. You probably still get paid. It just not quickly. Like, I don't know. But if there's issues, man, just take it to the thing. Take it to the director. Take it to the entity. I'm telling you, that's what's been killing it for me lately. And I don't know. I was really psyched up, and like I like being a part of kayak fishing, and I love fishing tournaments, and I love destination fishing, and like doing the social media stuff here and there, and working with these companies that I get to partner with and stuff. It's cool. But when it's just like anything else. When you constantly get on social media, which is the root of the fucking problem anyway, and all you see is just bashing and negativity. And I'm not a soft person. Like, it's not like this is affecting me. I'll burn a fucking bridge down with the best of you. Like, I'll get rowdy and rough just like most of you. It's just I'm getting older, and I guess I just don't like to see it as much anymore. It's just for the same reason Dan said, you can't say we're the greatest thing in fishing right now and then turn around and say that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Armando, you said your piece about how you don't like the payouts for bass. And whenever I watch your show, you're not on there every week. The payouts for bass suck. They're taking too much money.
And I rolled back that on a little bit because I understand the business. My thing with bass is other things. But the payouts, I kind of understand it now a little bit that I more information. And that's the thing about it, touching on it. You know, it's one thing to going on, you know, on what Jimmy said. You know, we all have our opinions of things. I don't agree with a lot of things Bass does. Yeah. And I can go on about it.
Yeah.
I just say my piece when I think things need to be called out, because I think, you know, it needs to be addressed. And being a podcast is part of it. Being a media side of it is part of it. There is a difference, though. Like, I can go out and say, you know, I had Jake Harshman the other week, and he went completely, which every single tournament angler that I've known has the same opinion of Jake has about Bass Nation. If that's his opinion, as long as you're not calling out people by name and discredit their integrity or discrediting their character, that to me is when it goes the TMC route. That's when you cross the line. You can have your opinion, say, hey, you know, I don't like this about Bass, or I don't like this about
but
KBS.
then there's the people that like, just like what Dan's getting at is like, Jake said his piece on your show. Well, if Jake turned around and said it again tomorrow and the next day and the next day, that's what Dan's talking about. And I'm not saying Jake's that person. I'm just saying it's just
but
I know. Say your piece, and then I like for people to step back and realize you are nothing in this realm.
Yeah.
You're not in the light. You're not something like somebody at Bass didn't look at Armando's show and be like, you know what, that dude's right. We're going to change this. None of us are that. None of you keyboard warriors are that. It doesn't work that way. It's not how it is. I agree that things should be brought to light, but then you just got to shut up. Like,
I guess the better
talk
way
about it when it comes out.
There's a way to be constructive about things.
Yeah.
And there's a
Instead
way
of
to try to burn things down.
Yeah,
and
these
to
are the people
gloat
that
about
probably
things.
like, man, most of these people are probably the people that either A, were bullies, or B, got bullied. And
I agree with that.
Keyboard warriors, our state's got some of the greatest ones.
Yeah.
And some of them that have been like this on the keyboard, you meet them in person, and that is not who they are.
Yep.
They ain't about that life. Like, they are.
Hey.
And some of them, like, I won't say that. This is about people not in our state. There are people that I've had a strong opinion about that I did not want to be affiliated with, that now I'm affiliated with them. And when you get to know the person that's not on the keyboard, they are absolute salt of the earth, genuinely cool people. They just got some fingers on them and like to run their mouth, or run their fingers. You know, it is just social media. It's fucking stupid.
I'm not the kind of person who's just going to say random things that I don't know.
Non-factual.
Yeah, just non.
Buddy, I hate that everybody missed the fact bombs that came out before this show recorded. I almost clicked record, but I didn't want to do that to Dan.
That wasn't being constructive either. I mean, you know.
But there's a difference. That was like, nothing you said was wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Like, that was very, like, it was just a very rough version of what we've just said. We'll say that.
Yeah. A more adult language version of it. But you're right. And to me, that's it. I mean, I think as a podcaster, it's a responsibility to, you know, say the truth and call things out as you see them.
Absolutely.
But I think it's just, you say your piece, that's it. Let's move on. If it comes up again, you can touch on it again, and that's it. But if you're always initiating this topic, then I think the problem, talking about myself, if I'm always the one initiating the topic, then that's a problem. Now, if I get the feedback from the tournament anglers because I think there's two, you know, class of citizens when it comes to kayak fishing. There's the tournament anglers, and there's just the people that enjoy fishing. And then there's the content creators, if you want to add that. So everybody has a different perspective. Tournament anglers are going to prioritize what the tournament's national trails are doing. Content creators are going to prioritize what's important to them. It's what Instagram is doing to them, what YouTube is doing to them with their rules, and TikTok, blah, blah, blah. So there's different aspects of this. And you hear the feedback, and I try to amplify the voice of the tournament anglers when I do the podcast.
Yeah, that's totally okay.
Yeah, and when I have tournament anglers, you know, at the beginning of the season, I'm sure it's going to happen next season, the rules come out, the trails come out, and I'm going to have and I'm going to talk to a bunch of tournament anglers. I see it this way. How do you see it? And then a lot of times I've been on, with the payouts for Bass Nation. I used to have a certain opinion. When I talk to other people, I kind of educated my opinion, and it's okay to say, you know what? I may have to walk back a little bit on that. The other things don't, but understand, have the humility to say, I might have said something, overstepped what I know of, and we have all done it.
There's a great pro tip right there, folks.
Yeah.
Before you have your opinion, make sure you're educated on the subject you're trying to run your mouth about. And I'm not saying Armando did that. What you said was not even a big deal.
Yeah.
But
it's
people
will
run their mouth about,
back.
Dan said it before the show.
Yeah.
What he was fired up on is people running their mouth about something they do not know anything about.
And attacking.
It makes you look stupid when you do that. Yeah. All the people that are in the know are looking at the people that are running their mouth, and everything that comes out is incorrect. And you just make yourself look like an even bigger ass. Like, whether you realize it or not, and some people never catch that. But that's life in general, man. It wouldn't matter. This bullshit happens in kayak fishing. It happens in freaking sales. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, you have this crap.
It gets to all of us at one point. Talking to other people where it's like, I'm done with kayak fishing because so-and-so said this, or this is going on this page. I'm like, listen, if that's going to be your opinion, you're going to have that everywhere you go to. I lived in Puerto Rico. I was huge in the surfing and the surfing community. You think we have drama? You should see surfing, man. Like, those are punches thrown when there's 30 people on the water and only one wave every 5 minutes. I mean, that's a toxic environment, and yet you're out there trying to enjoy nature and enjoy the outdoors. So my point is, I've done mountain biking. Mountain biking community has the same thing. It has his rivalries, has his people, his trollers. Every single community is going to have its toxic group. If that's what's going to stop you from doing what you love, you're not going to do anything at all. My advice to anybody out there is stop listening to them. Stop focusing on them. Focus on the positive of what you're enjoying it and what you're bringing to the table for other people to enjoy it. And it's going to be it's going to surprise you when you hear people all of a sudden saying, this happened. I didn't even know about that. It didn't affect me because I'm not focusing on it. Let it go.
A big key to that, a big piece of advice would be just put your phone down.
Yep.
Because like I said, how the negativity is just killing it for me. It's not like it's affecting me like mentally, like, oh my God, what is it today? It's just like, you just think about all this stuff, especially because like we're in this and like we're doing the podcast. We have to kind of be immersed in it because we have to know what's going on. But like, it just takes the fun out of some of it for me. And that I've been really like disengaged from a lot of stuff the last couple of months. And I don't know, I've had a lot more fun. Just go, like, I think, honest to God, that's why the 2 events I fished this year I did good in, because I just like, whatever. Like, I ain't pre-fish. I ain't worried about if my sponsors look good when I do it. I'm not worried about if there's any money to win. I just got invited to go fishing somewhere I'd never been, and I went and fished, and didn't worry about the rest of the crap. And then I think that's the key for me, is just that lax approach to everything. And that's I've been trying, like, I've stepped away from a bunch of groups and stuff like that on Facebook just to not, that I love most of the stuff that I'm still a part of is Paddle and Fin. We're real low drama. We're real neutral, opinionated on everything. Mm-hmm. Everything's got greats and, pros and cons. You'll never come to our show and listen to us just get on a rant about one club, one tournament scene.
Fishing chaos. That's
different.
But you say you're not that's the thing, that you're not attacking anybody. You're not calling people names. You just said it. Fishing chaos sucks. Yeah, it does. That's not being negative.
Some topics.
If you're saying those MFs and that's toxic. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Jim, sorry.
No, but it's, I don't know. It's just, the team I run, our state's a great state to kayak fish in. I mean, as much as I wish that it was taken a little, I always compare it to Tennessee. The Tennessee kayak clubs up there have got everything squared away so well.
Yeah.
Like, they all work together really well. Their championship's a big deal. And we're getting that way. I saw a lot more of it this year, and I'm friends with all the tournament directors. And
we've talked some more. We've seen what Tennessee has done, and a lot of the leaders in the club and the clubs in Alabama have been talking a lot more about trying to bring us all together and get us all on the same page more. So we're working towards that.
It's coming. It's just slow to it, which is fine. Just this year you saw the motors kind of explode in the clubs as far as even getting interest. Last year that was a big no for most of the state. I think especially once all the clubs work together, I'll have way more interest in fishing in our state competitively again. When you're double dipping clubs and everybody's kind of in it, and then that makes the championship a bigger deal to me, because and I'm the one hosting the championship this year. It's the greatest anglers from each club, but most of them have never fished against each other.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cooler to see everybody, butt heads at least once during the year before the championship, kind of have an idea what you're up against, unless you're Chuck. Because Chuck just wins everything. Well, that bastard.
He won Coleman AOY. He's leading River Region right now.
Yep. He blew me out both tournaments. He won both tournaments that I did good in.
He's had a great year.
Yeah.
Chuck's legit.
That's what's cool about our state too, is you have consistent anglers, but I will say that it's always the top guys seems to be different. Like Luke won double AOY last year, and he didn't this year. He had a good year, but not as good as last year. And then Randall Wallace is doing really good this year, and I think he won it last year, but didn't win it. I think he runnered it up the year before. I don't know. It's kind of cool to see it kind of move around. Because if you think Tennessee, especially according to what club, you like KBF TN or any of those clubs, it's where all the quote unquote hammers are. So it's you can kind of go ahead and figure out your top three at the beginning of the year. But I don't know. It's pretty cool. I don't think we'll ever hit that Tennessee Texas setup because they've got it not locked in. I agree. Duke, you talk to anybody, Duke Tran's one of the best tournament directors in the country.
Yeah. Chris Morales.
Why didn't he run Bass then?
Bass Nation in Texas?
No, just Bass Nation. If you listen to Jeff Mallett on KBN a couple of weeks ago, he said that Bass Nation, Bass Master Kayak Series is looking for an actual tournament director, a paid tournament director.
Finally.
He says they're looking, and I'm not taking anything away from Jeff. I've heard there's already one.
Yeah.
And I heard it from probably the most reliable source in that game in Bass.
So it's going to be, we're talking about the National Trail.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, John Stewart, he's not with Bass anymore.
Yeah. Jeff said they're looking. I heard there's already one.
Well, you'll have to tell me who it is after.
I don't have their name.
Oh, I thought you did.
Mm-mm. Well, he told me, and I didn't recognize it, so I just kind of one in one ear and out the other. I'll text him and I'll get the name.
No, afterwards. I think I might know who it is.
So what happened with John Stewart?
I'm sure.
Yeah,
he was a Bass employee before that.
Yeah, he just wanted to do something else.
Yeah, I'm sure he's still part of Bass, just not part of the kayak thing. Which said Bass needs somebody that's just. Oh, he's not with Bass at all. They need someone that's dedicated to kayak fishing.
I agree.
Fishing. But Bassmaster is an old school company, man. You get into any of it and you'll feel it. They're one of those, this is how we built it. This is how it's going to be. And you can bitch and moan all you want to, but when a company that's been around 50 years can stand on their pillars and say, this is what we did to get here and this is what still works. I do agree that change is better, but it's really hard to change from something that's proven itself.
It has.
I completely get it.
I know. I get that too, but it's in the. I think that falls in the realm of what have you done for me lately. So you see, when Steve Owen started it, to where it is now, it's a shadow of what it used to be as far as attendance goes.
Yeah.
And that at that point you have to say, okay, well, what we've been doing may not apply to this new venture we're at, and we may just
I don't think
look
it's
at
anything
other
they've done. I just think it's a lack of promotion. Like they don't
Hobie BOS
treat it
doesn't
like
do
a
much
product.
promotion.
Bullshit. Hobie BOS doesn't shut up about Hobie BOS, just like KBF doesn't.
I know, but
Bass
it's still
needs to
Hobie.
be like ran up too. Like they gotta you gotta be like, this is the event, this is where we're doing it, and blah. And they don't do that. It's just like this is our schedule.
Yeah.
Here's our schedule.
They've done
Hope
some
like
things.
it's 3 months late.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Like,
I agree with that. So yeah, no, it's one of those things like if you want to grow it, then you have to understand times have changed. It's not the same.
It's the
formula.
same thing. What I get at with this is they don't have to. If they drop
if they want to keep it, yes.
If they drop kayak fishing altogether, you know how much money they're going to lose?
Now, but in the future.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, do they need it? No, they don't. But they say, I'm not going to quote that. But anyways, there's the thing that every company, every entity is never going to say, oh, we have enough money. They're always going to look for like, how can we make more money? To that point is like, is there a market? The answer is yes, it is. We see what Hobie BOS is doing. We see what KBF has done. So there is a market. We're not making money out of it. Our attendance is going drastically low every year now for the third year in a row. There's a market, yes. So that means the market's not a problem. Maybe it's the way we're doing it that's a problem. So maybe we need to
and that it all gets back
changes.
Into it all gets back into them because they're already established. They're looking to. I mean, it's business. If you do any kind of business, if you're established one way, somebody brings along a product, you have to figure out how the product they're selling you, if it's going to make you money. You can see that it's making money for other people, but is it making money at a rate that's worth you putting in your dollars? Like I can tell you right now, Hobie's not making tons of money off that. No, it's
no. That's just the publicity agent.
Even if they break even for advertising it, that's fine.
Exactly, because that's all the BOS thing is basically it's a giant marketing tool for Hobie. That's very smart.
You got me, Hobie. You got me.
Let me put it to you this way. I used to work with the airline industry in Puerto Rico. So San Juan, Puerto Rico had a hub for American Airlines. Miami was the biggest hub. And you talk to the director of the San Juan hub, and this says the reason why we need a hub here is to protect the backside of our biggest hub to all South America, Central America, and the Caribbean, which is Miami. So one protected the other. So it wasn't that San Juan was making money. It was just that it was protecting their main interest, which is Miami, from having another company say, well, we can make a hub in San Juan and compete. So I think Bass Nation, it's not necessarily that, it's going to make us money. No, it's going to protect our backside from having MLF come here, swoop this idea, and now they're making money out
happening anyway.
Yes. And Native may have something to do with that. But it's the thing about it's like we understand it's never going to make us much money. It's never meant to compete with the basketball.
It's not $1 million
It's meant
idea.
to protect you. Yeah. It's meant to protect you from somebody else grabbing that idea and now combining it with the basketball and now becoming a bigger entity than yourself.
That if it's anything for any of these companies, this is all just a marketing ploy.
Exactly.
Like, it's all it is. Well,
all right.
It's been fun. A little bit of ranting, a little bit of catching up. Always a good time. Make sure everybody tunes in next week. We will have the Hobie BOS winners on. Flex them biceps, Dano. Got you. Oh man, I need to clip that. Dano, we're just
I'll do that.
But we'll have the guys on from the Hobie next week. I don't know if there's any big. I know like the Tennessee big state championship on chicks this weekend. We may get into that in a couple of weeks. We may step back, talk to the KBF guys a little bit, ask them why the hell Clear Lake didn't put out for everybody. But yeah, Armando, I appreciate you hopping on, hanging out with us. We just talking shit and chilling. Fun as always.
Kind of sad we couldn't get pre-recording Dan on the recording session, but
I don't know. He was hot. He probably
Damn.
wouldn't have wanted that out
I've
there.
never seen Dan
exactly.
this worked up, man.
I'm glad I didn't, because I would have been ashamed of that.
That's how it is when I blow up on anything. It feels great, and then when you go back and look at it, you're like, God, I'm an ass.
Yeah.
But it's all cool. Well, thanks again, everybody. We appreciate having. Tournament recap stuff. Forgot all about it. I got a few pages here, so we will get into it. The Western Kayak Anglers Alliance West Coast Championship, also on Clear Lake. 125 anglers, 2-day tournament. Cayman Rasmussen with 179.5 for the win on the weekend. Second place, Scott Safko with 178. Third place, Bryce Gibbs. And Cayman caught a 23.5 on day one. I need to catch me another big one. The Lakeport Bait and Tackle Annual Kayak and Belly Boat Bass Tournament had 103 anglers. They're doing some of that stuff down here. I don't know if you've caught into it, Dan, where we've got little kayak John boat combo tournaments going on some of the Coleman lakes.
Kind of Slate kind of thing.
Kind of, but it's like keep your fish, bring them to the weigh-in style. So these kayak guys are giving these boat dudes a run for their money, which is great. But yeah, that one was 103 anglers. It was nationwide. Cayman Rasmussen won that one with 93. Second place, Scott Savko with 91.25. Third place with Matthew Brannon. Next up, the Southwest Virginia Yackers for Smallies. South of the 40th parallel. That's a cool way to put a border. I like it. 27 anglers. First place, Nathaniel Vance, 86.5. Second place, Bryce Stone with 85.5. Third place, Troy Wines with 84.75. Bluegrass Kayak Anglers on Cedar Creek Lake in Kentucky, 51 anglers, 5 fish limit. First place, Nick McGuire with 90.75. Second place, Bert Gutho with 89.5. Third place, Adam Shepard with 88.5. NYKBF on Conesus Lake, 32 anglers. First place, Vince Lawyer with 85.75. Second place, Brandon Lewis with 82.25. Third place, Nathan Yakuzo also with 82.25. The 2022 Tennessee Kayak Anglers Trail River Wars event. It's a moving water event, 100 miles around Frontier Outdoors down there, their outfitter. First place, John Dalton, 55 inches, 3 fish limit, by the way. Second place, Kenneth Johnson with 53.5. And third place, Daniel Lyons with 53.25. Next up, the West Virginia Kayak Anglers New River Open. Covered a couple different places. Dang, so did y'all hear that thunder?
No.
Jeez, that was my dog just shot across the room. Sorry. But anyway, so 40 anglers in that one. First place, the man, Jody Queen with 89.5. Second place, Mark Edwards with 89. Third place, Amos Hicks with, my scrolling, 75. Oh, no, I lost it. 88.25. Sorry there. Next up was the Buckeye Kayak Fishing Trail on the Columbus Rivers. 41 anglers. First place, Trevor Justice with 83.75. Second place, Alex Roberts with 77.5. Third place, Dave Sharp with 75.5. The Kayak Bass Fishing Cumberland Kayak Trail 2-day tournament, 28 anglers. First place, Dave Klosterman with 86.5. It's your best 5 bass over the 2 days. Second place, my teammate Derek Bostic with 84.25. Third place, Terry Bowman with 82.25. Next up is Kayak Anglers of Florida Sunshine State Trail Championship on Touhou. 2-day event, 28 anglers. First place, Richard White with 185 inches. Second place, Mark Pasamato with 183.75. Third place, Eric Samuels with 182. The big tournament everybody was wanting to talk about last week, the Hobie BOS and the Fox and Wolf Rivers in Appleton, Wisconsin. 2-day tournament, only 89 anglers at that one. First place, Calvin D with 183.5. Second place, Christine Fisher with 179.25. Third place, Guillermo Gonzalez with 173. And don't forget, we're going to have them on with us next week. Next up was a Minnesota Kayak Fishing Association New Canoe Tournament on East and West Rush Lake. It was a combo species tournament, 2 pike and 3 bass combo with 50 anglers. First place, Lauren Prival with 111.5 total inches. Second place, Alexander Tao with 110.5 inches. And third place, Hugh Vang with 110.25. Next up was the Yakabas event on Clear Lake. 2 days, 108 anglers, 5 fish limit per day. First place, Patrick Wilson with a 182 3/4. Second place, Cody Henley with 172 1/2. Third place, Jonathan DeMonet with 162 1/4. Last but not last, I got 2 more. Urban Angler Kayak Club in Los Angeles was on the Castaic Lagoon, 30 anglers. First place, Adrian Saldivar with 43. Ooh, that's a terrible 5 fish limit. Only 19 total fish caught. Second place, Carlos Chacon with 33 1/4, and third place, Ron Kim with 28 1/4. And last but not least, we had the KBF event that was held out there on Clear Lake. 70 anglers signed up for that one. 2 individual trail days and a pro series. Trail day 1, first place, Bryce Gibbs with 89. Second place, Patrick Wilson with 88 1/2. Third place, Zhangbo Zhang with 88 1/4. Trail day 2, first place was Patrick Wilson with 93 3/4. Second place, Lance Engel with 91 1/4. And third place, Don Rocky with 90 3/4. And your pro series finishers, Patrick Wilson took that win with 182 1/4. Second place, Cody Henley with 172 1/2. And third place, Cayman Rasmussen with 172. So that is it for all the tournaments we had over the week, guys. We appreciate you hanging out and catching up on all that with us. Had a great show, a little bit different. It was fun just hanging out and chilling, and I feel like we should do more of this because it's a nice change. But, well, all right. Anything else, guys? All quiet? Armando's volume is off.
Sorry.
Mine was off too. My bad.
Kind of shameless plug, but if anybody wants to listen to it, I've got the privilege of interviewing Stian Slot, I think that's you pronounce it, a winner of the Hobie Worlds. He's from Norway. He actually won the Hobie Fishing Worlds, and he actually qualified because at the week before, because somebody kind of like canceled at the last minute, so they needed another person to represent Norway. Ended up winning the whole 3-day event. So it's a good interview, a lot of insight.
Cool.
So yeah,
be sure to go check that out over on the Bass Kayak and Beers show. Dan, anything else?
Nope.
All right, folks. We appreciate everybody, and we will see y'all next week. Peace.
Later.
Thanks for tuning in to another killer episode here on Paddle and Fin. Be sure to drop a 5-star rating, a thumbs up, or smash that subscribe button on any platform you're listening in on. Be sure to check us out on Waypoint TV, waypointtv.com. Make sure you sign up for the Fantasy Kayak Fishing League at paddleandfin.com/fantasy. You can support this show through Patreon, patreon.com/paddleandfin. Don't forget to check out the website, paddleandfin.com. Catch us on YouTube. If you got a question, comment, or want to see a future guest on the show, be sure to email us at paddleandfin@gmail.com. Shout out to our show supporters, Yak Gadget. You can check out all the fine kayak accessories at yakgadget.com. Pelican Professional. For all your cases, coolers, and lighting needs, go to pelican.com. Rocktown Adventures, your Midwest premier paddle sports destination. Go to rocktownadventures.com. Eastport Marina, the beautiful destination on Dale Hollow Lake. If you're looking for lodging, kayaks, kayak accessories, or anything fishing related on the beautiful Dale Hollow Lake, go to eastport.info. And Jig Masters Jigs. When in doubt, get the jig out. Go to jigmasters.com